Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the AMG podcast. So, we're back with another episode with the team here. I'm going to go around the horn first. Sherry, hello. How are you?
I'm great. How are you this morning?
I am doing well. And you can see the locations slowly change every episode. So, if you're paying attention, so Sherry, whereabouts are you? You got the TV above you, you got the trade night sign. Which part of the store are you
This
located in now?
this is my office. I just flip my computer around from a blank wall to what I look at.
There, I actually did that once upon a time with my YouTube channel. This thing here, the first couple of years was literally me 90 degrees facing, and it was just one banner. And then I
Mhm.
go, let me flip it this way. It's like there's way more stuff back here. It's probably a
Yeah.
little more visually interesting. So I thought that
Yeah.
was a smart idea. So good call. Blair, you got the visually interesting background. You're in the attic. How's things going over there?
I am in the attic where they put old things.
Mm, on brand. I like it. I like
Yeah.
where your head's at right there. We got Lloyd over there with shelves.
How's it going, buddy?
It's going good, going good. And then we
Yeah,
got
I'm in
Steve with the
my
wall.
I'm in my regular spot. If I switch the computer around, you'd see a blank wall.
Perfect. Well, speaking of blank walls, we got Steve. Steve, how are you?
This is all I deserve.
We got to get you a picture or something, man. You know, probably Blair could draw you something. We could stick it on the wall there.
Yeah.
I do a mean Taylor Swift.
I'll take it.
That might have to be. We're gonna have to work on your interior decorators. I think was what we need to, as the episodes evolve. Steve, we might just have to get an interior decorator in there and figure something out for you.
We can do a spin-off.
Mm-hmm. I think so. I think so. You know, pimp my office is what's gonna happen with Steve. We'll figure that out. You know, stay tuned.
Yeah.
Forthcoming. So on this episode, obviously with Series 1 having come out, that's a huge release and a big part of the show calendar. And what's funny is we talked about before the release actually happened. I mentioned that I was like 99% confident that there was going to be a Connor Bedard content, and obviously there was. So we'll get a chance to talk a little bit more about that. And then Series 2 will be craziness, but Series 1 already gave us a little bit of a taste of what we might be expecting going forward a little bit on that. So we'll definitely touch on that. Let me do a few housekeeping items then first, and then we'll get into the main discussion here. First one on the channel for folks who are checking it out for the first time, you can check out that there's starting to be a series of videos. We got the podcast episodes, but we have started recording a few things. So Lloyd and myself did record a unboxing of Series 1. So if you want to get a little insight into some of that, Lloyd went through the cards. I did a little color commentary where we went back and forth on it, but we were able to showcase some of the cards. It's a little better to see it for yourself. And it's great to see it opened up that way. And also, as a bonus, we included a box of 2021, 2022 UD Premiere. So you're able to see that as well to get a chance to see those two things. And the second thing is this week we loaded up a trailer for a recent trade night. So I think it's the last Friday of every month is when the trade nights happen.
Yep. Last Friday of every month from 5 to 8.
Perfect. And if you guys check it out, that was very slickly produced. So basically, I just slapped the little end screen onto it with the address information and everything, and left it be. But it looked really good with the music and everything. It looked great. And if you want to get a taste of what Trade Night looks like, that's a really good representation. It's about a minute if you guys want to check it out. It's a nice trailer for it. And then the other couple of elements we want to make sure we include off the top is that the auctions for AMG Collectibles are finishing on Thursday. And that'll be one of the things that will be included in the description of the channel. I'll quickly show it here on the screen. But there's a whole series of auctions. We talked about some of them and some of the stuff that's coming up here. And you can see you got vintage, you got modern, you got a little bit. So we've got some of the vintage cards here showing, including, like I said, the Sandy Koufax we talked about previously. So you've got a whole variety of them. Hank Aaron All-Star card from 58 Tops. Pretty solid. Some basketball even. Bob Pettit. My goodness, we got the basketball. There you go. So all the way through, you can follow through and check it out. It will be included in the description if you want to check it out. So those auctions are coming to an end, and there will be auctions continuously happening, but definitely check out those auctions here coming up. And this will be our first official mention. We've alluded to it in previous episodes, but Toronto Expo is coming. Expo season is coming. And as part of that, the AMG Collectibles will be at the Toronto Expo coming up in Toronto in November. And Steve will be buying all the things.
Everything.
Well, you need things at least to hang on your wall, if nothing else. You might need to bring things for Steve's wall.
Priority number one, address
I
the
think
wall
so.
situation.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So want to get some of those housekeeping items out of the way. So to start off with, we're going to talk a little bit about what's coming up in the shop, but in order to really cover that properly, we're going to definitely start off with talking about Series 1. So I put together a little graphic for everybody here based off the pictures. So thank you, Blair, for providing some of these images here. So just to start off the top here, a couple of different things. So on the left side, you can check out on the visuals here. That's the Connor Bedard short print, if you will, inside of the boxes available. One of the key pieces, and Lloyd and I touched on that when we had our unboxing there, is don't assuming it was a super short print was probably a mistake. Some people are probably going to be very unhappy with their initial purchase. We did recommend that if you do want to get this card, and it is a nice card, and if you're interested in getting, it's a very significant card for Connor Bedard. So, from a collecting perspective, we're not discounting it, but we want to be respectful of people's money and just say, hey, you can exercise a little patience. There should be enough of them out there if you really want to get your hands on one. And obviously, when the young gun and some of the real rookies come out, this is going to drop in price. But it's still a really cool card of Connor Bedard. It's the first opportunity to get your hands on a Chicago Blackhawks draft card of Connor Bedard. It's a legit card from the legit manufacturer. It's an opportunity to get your hands on one, but don't go spending too much crazy money. And you're already seeing the prices starting to come down on it.
Mhm.
As people figure that out, that it's short printed, yes, but not super short printed. So just bear that in mind. Then we got for here Matthew Nees. That was one of the cards that Lloyd pulled in the boxes that he was able to get there. And we've got the Luke Hughes, and then we got the Quinton Byfield exclusives. So I think that's going to be one of the key pieces in there. Any of those where you're getting the exclusives or any of the parallels, that's awesome. Let me show up next card here. We've got one of the young guns in the Silver Outburst. Yeah, which we were able to show off in the unboxing. The Silver Outburst, I'm a big fan. I'm liking kind of the technology and everything, adding a little extra, sizzle to the cards, which is really great. I'm kind of enjoying that. Here's one of the inserts, the 200 by 85. That was one of the ones we talked about. And this is the red parallel, I think, out of 99. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then we've got here one of the top draft pick redemptions. I think this is out of the Tim Hortons product that you can redeem for Connor Bedard, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
This one's still selling quite well. It's bringing close to $1,000. So we were fortunate enough that a customer purchased a cup of coffee and a pack of cards and got that. So it was an expensive coffee he picked up.
Very nice, very nice. When it comes to the Team Hortons and stuff like that, I have absolutely no luck whatsoever. I pretty much leave that to Carlos Senior. It's his job. He'll basically buy his coffee in a couple of packs, and he was able to pull one of the Ice Gems Ovechkins. And I'm like, of course you did, because of course I could buy like 800 packs and get nothing. And he pulls one of the decent cards there out of that. Here's a little baseball. We got a 1999 Bowman Chrome Roy Halladay refractor, for the Blue Jays fans. And that's a classic one. And you can tell that's a young Roy Halladay. So that's before he figured things out. And he would I think he would go back to the minors, get a couple of adjustments to his technique, and then come back and become a Cy Young Award winner. But there's this young Roy Halladay before any of that.
And Carlos, that's actually a population of one. So
oh, nice. Pop one on the PSA 10.
Pop one for all those diehard serious collectors. So you can reach out to the store on that one. I was really excited to pick that up on the weekend.
Yeah, well, that's a good, clean looking copy as well. And I remember the 99 Bowman Chrome, and it's kind of fun to have it on that. Pretty good. And those early refractors with all the silver and everything, they're some of the better looking refractors with the color.
Yes.
So I would definitely say that's a good thing. Now, we've got a couple of other pictures that we'll share at you at the end if we've got time. So a little spoiler, you can see that at the end there's a couple more pictures, but we'll get to that towards the tail end. I wanted to show off a couple of them. So other than that, what's in the shop? One of the biggest things in the shop was release of Series 1, which we already alluded to. All right. So who wants to go first? Who wants to tell me about what it was like in the shop, getting the boxes, getting people to come in and grab boxes, buy boxes? Where do we want to start?
I think Steve can speak on that one.
Go ahead.
Well, it was definitely the craziest couple days that I've been associated with at the store. When our order showed up on the Wednesday, there was about 20 people with their arms folded, standing in line somewhat patiently, waiting to get their pre-orders or pick up their boxes. We were actually a little nervous because we did purchase a lot of the upper deck. So, of course, we had a lot of money tied into it. We were concerned, we might be stuck with hundreds and hundreds of boxes. And boy, were we wrong. Within 72 hours, we were out of boxes. So it was a crazy couple days. And fortunately, we were able to secure some more cases, but they continue to sell at a rapid pace.
Right. And I did want to make sure I touched on that because, as you said, you had to restock and get more stuff in there. And one other thing that we talked about is, and it's also shown on the social medias, is that in order to try to control things, once it became clear it was going to sell very well, is you had to put in a 3-box limit to try to at least give people opportunities so that, one person wouldn't come and just buy a whole case full all at one shot and, take you out of boxes right away.
Absolutely.
Now, question for you guys. Let me ask this. Obviously, it's a mix when you get a big release like that. You've obviously got folks that come in, buy their boxes, and head out. Did you have a lot of folks buying a couple of boxes and open them in store? Kind of like, too eager. They couldn't even get it all the way to the driveway. They needed to open the boxes and see what they could pull right out of the box. Did you guys see? We showed some cool cards there, but did you guys see anything crazy pulled out of any boxes opened in the store?
Absolutely. We saw one of the Bedards pulled, and I actually did some wheeling and dealing right in the store. If someone opened up, and got the Luke Hughes or, one of the bigger cards, I would turn around and, do a trade cash thing for them, and they would turn right back around and buy another box. And, we added a few cards to our inventory.
Nice, nice. Now, for the rest of you, did any of you also, do you recollect any card that you witnessed being opened that you were able to see while you happened to be in the store?
Blair?
Yeah, no, yesterday, even as late as yesterday, we, like Steve said, we saw they came out of one box, I think. They got, they pulled a Matthew Nyes young gun, and then also the Levi, the goalie from Buffalo. And then I think the person with them also pulled the 200 by 85 or 85 by 200 numbered to 99 that we just saw in the picture. So those were a couple of good boxes. A lot of those outburst cards, which were kind of great, and it appears the young guns are the young gun versions of those are kind of demanding decent money on eBay. And yeah.
Sounds good. I think it helps that they're about one per box, give or take. So it's one of those that they're tough enough. It kind of balances what we talk about. Is they're tough enough that they're not like easy to come by, but they're not impossible. You'll be able to see multiple copies on eBay and those places, but at the same time, it is a little bit shorter printed because it's one of, as popular as young guns are, they're available in abundance. You're getting 6 per box if everything goes normally. You're getting 6 per box. And that means there's plenty of opportunity to get a lot of them. Obviously, the more popular ones will do well, but long term, we'll always wait and see because you never know. 5 years from now, we talked about the little education I gave everybody on the actual OG 1-of-1 young guns, not what it says on the box. Box is lies, but everybody thought Patrick Stefan was going to be the next big thing. It didn't turn out. It happens sometimes, wasn't for lack of effort, that he was first overall, and that doesn't guarantee anything. I will say Connor Bedard's at least played well in the brief time he's got a chance to play. So we'll see if he's the real deal, but it's a good start.
I also think too, this is one product that I've been pushing customers. If they ever kept a box not to open, this would be a good one. First of all, the price point's good. And to me, it's just kind of like the relaunch of Upper Deck with the new configuration of the packs. 10, 15 years from now, people might look back to that of, kind of the beginning of change with the Upper Deck product and how, they issue their boxes and stuff. So I think a lot of people, for everyone they open, they're actually sitting one on the shelf, which sometimes you can get a larger return not opening the box as opposed to opening it years down the road.
Sure. Now, let me ask this. This is more of a speculation question. And I think I'll get Lloyd to where you were about to comment as well. But let me just ask a speculation question for everybody. Obviously, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. Literally, just Series 1 just came out. But we already know that Series 2 is going to be where the Bedard Young Gun's going to be there. And obviously, the demand was really strong for Series 1 already. Like, you were able to see it for yourself. Is there any concern? Because this is always something that's interesting with Upper Deck. And I've seen this play out with other products. I'll be curious to see if you're getting this much strong movement on Series 1, which did not have a Connor Bedard card officially until obviously, people started pulling them. The next one will have one officially that everyone will know, get it coming into it. Are we worried at all that it's going to push the pricing? Because right now it's still a comfortable price point for the boxes for this time around. I'm kind of anticipating strong secondary market push to hike that price right up. Any thoughts about what that could entail?
Well, the thing is too, once it's actually release series two, with the way the prices are going to be, if stores don't have enough pre-ordered,
Mhm.
it's going to cost them a lot to restock.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it could be a thing where if you weren't able to get your pre-order in at a reasonable price, whatever that ends up being,
Yeah,
I could see that being one of those. But it's a double-edged sword. And Steve, I'll kind of explain what I'm getting at with this. We don't know where that's going to be. That's why I say I don't want to speculate on what it's actually going to be because we have no idea. We have no idea where your allocation will be. We don't know how many boxes you'll be able to get your hands on, all that stuff. But if we anticipate demand to be strong, which based on Series 1, it's reasonable to assume demand will be strong. If that's the case, if enough pressure gets put on it, then everybody's kind of forced to increase their prices just so they don't sell out in 4 seconds. At the same time, though, that makes it less customer friendly. Let's put it that way, because that's why I talked about that draft card. That draft card will be more short printed than the real Connor Bedard, Young Gun. The real one will be actually much easier to pull, relatively speaking. There will be plenty of them printed. History shows us that that's going to be the case. It's going to be really tough, though, if the pricing goes up enough, speculating, that a lot of people are going to be very unhappy when they realize that they've opened it, pulled some cool cards that won't cover the price of the box. Steve was able to wheel and deal for some of those cards and they were able to get another box out of it or whatever. But if the price goes up enough, he won't be able to make that deal with a potential series. And it's a guess, but it's an educated guess based on history if we're just looking at the possibilities based on projecting.
It'll be interesting to see because I'm already hearing of pre-sales of the product and stuff, and we kind of make our name on selling volume, so we're able to keep our price points down. But obviously, if another store's selling it for $500 a box, and we're selling at $155 a box, it's first of all we're going to sell out really fast, and then then we're wondering, well, gee, should we have asked a little bit more for it, maybe? But I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But it's probably coming because of the hype behind Series 2. But we will do our best. Let's just put it that way.
Sure. No, absolutely. But that's the reason why I kind of posed the question that way, because it doesn't take a lot of imagination to envision a world where if the push is that strong by the time that product comes, if Connor Bedard is still playing well, if it looks like he's on path to winning the Rookie of the Year and doing well with that, if that continues though, I could very easily see a situation where Steve sees some customers from another store who are like, well, if you got it at this price, I'll take it right off your shelf at this price point, and then I'll go slap a new sticker on it. Again, I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but it's like it would stand to reason if the pricing is appropriate. Like, why wouldn't you? At that point, you're just sourcing. How you source it doesn't really matter, does it?
Right. Oh, it's going to be tough because, like you said, you can't please everyone. So we'll probably hear from some customers, and some customers will understand, but that's business. And again, I guess we'll just have to see what the spring brings when this product comes out.
No, that's fair. I think that's reasonable. That's why more than anything, I wanted to kind of play it out a little bit going forward. Okay, so let me ask this question then. Obviously, we talked about the launch and everything. People were waiting. Some people had pre-ordered. You made sure that you had made some arrangements. You adjusted it down to a box limit once it became clear things were going to move pretty quick. Do you expect then that business will continue briskly with those boxes for the ones that remain for the next little bit? Because we didn't have any other big releases on the calendar this week. So we've got a little bit of a breather. Everybody's got a chance to go into it. You anticipate the rest of it to move briskly?
You want to take that, Blair?
Yeah, I mean, it's slowed down from those first, the initial day and weekend, and but no, we're still moving boxes. We're still taking obviously the phone calls too, and the social media kind of reach. Those first couple of days were pretty intense. I don't know how many phone calls we answered in store, but do you have any left? can I get a couple, you know, that kind of thing. And you know, we tried to do our best, but I suspect it will continue, and I mean, we'll sell out of that. I'm pretty confident. Um, yeah, yeah. It seems to be, from talking to people, talking to customers, you know, listening to the feedback. It seems to be a well received product.
Mhm.
You know, people are you know, they're opening their packs. Hey, I got 3 hits out of that pack, or you know. One of the clients yesterday, I think they ended up with 8 young guns, which I know can happen in previous products. Usually, some boxes you just end up with a few more young guns, but no, it just seems to be well received, and the selection of different inserts, and yeah, I agree with Steve when he said I think it's a product you could even sit on. So I think we'll have no issues.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Part of the reason I enjoy looking into where I think things are going to go as far as products like those is because one of the other factors that we have to include in that is going to be Upper Deck's EPAC. Because when EPAC comes out, that there's always a bit of a mix, and we never know what the mix is, what the blend is, because we know that some of the big hits, one of the big ones we talked about is the outbursts. Well, then there's the gold outbursts, the one of one outburst. That's a big one.
Mhm.
And then the question always is, okay, how many of the one of ones made it into the boxes that you guys are selling right now? And how many of them are sitting right now in a warehouse somewhere that will suddenly magically appear when EPAC shows up? And then suddenly those will appear after the fact.
Mhm.
No, they done it with some of the higher end PMGs out of metal. I'm thinking, I think the Crosby was pulled on EPAC. I know one of the bigger names, Gold Retro PMGs, was pulled on there.
Mhm.
So I think it should be separate. There should be a hobby and an EPAC version.
Sure.
That way you know you're going to pull whatever card you're looking for, and the one of one is out there in the hobby boxes.
Mhm.
Well, same concept as like a retail exclusive, right? Sometimes
Yeah.
when the retail comes out, there's certain inserts or parallels sometimes where they can only be pulled in retail.
Yeah.
So it might be one of those things where it's worthwhile. They do have a couple of exclusives. Obviously, if you play the game and buy enough cards, you can transfer them over and make some of the, you know, silvers and the sparkle. I forget the name of it. But there's a couple of parallels
Yeah.
that you can only get by going through the process on EPAC, and then they become available after the fact. Some of those become desirable, especially for the young guns. So that's ones that can be thing, but we won't see that until down the road. First, EPAC's got to be activated, and then we'll see how these things play out after that. But okay, so I wanted to kind of speculate and have a little fun with that, with those pieces. Anything else Series 1 wise that we want to touch on here as we go forward into the rest of this release cycle?
That I can think of.
Amazing. All right, sounds good. Well, then you know what that means. Y'all had your chance. I warned you. So now we have no choice. We have to let Blair have his moment because like I said, I got more pictures. So now. So y'all did this to yourselves. I gave you a chance. Lloyd could have gone into song. There was opportunities, but now we have no choice.
On second thought.
Yeah,
Just
I do
kidding.
have one thing up there.
I tried. It wasn't for lack of effort on my part. I'm sitting there like, I'm trying to give you guys an out. I'm trying. Okay, fine.
I tried.
I'm gonna be like that. All right. So let me show a couple of other images here that Blair was able to provide for us here. So let's start off with this one here. We got a series of 8x10s. It looks like various autographs, Hall of Famers. So let's kind of zoom in here. Do you want to talk on this, Blair?
Yeah, sorry. It was just actually, I don't know if these ones came in a collection Steve picked up as well too. I forget offhand exactly. Sorry, we had quite a few things come in, but yeah, no, just a great series of photos from a collection. They're all actually most are multi-authenticated, so it appears to be you know, the original. Like there's an AJ Authentics. I think there's a JSA, and then all of them are PSA authenticated with the letters. So yeah, just some great old photos and some great signatures. There's a 2 or 3 Tretiaks and Paul Henderson, so a throwback to the Summit series, and then a great Scotty Bowman. I mean, one of the great coaches in history. And I like the Pat Quinn one. Of course, Pat's not with us anymore, but yeah, I just like that photo.
Very nice. So just from the top row, I'll quickly go through them. We got the Brodeur, we got the Pat Quinn, we got Grant Fuhrer,
Yep.
Then we scroll through. That's the Scotty Bowman, Paul Henderson, one of the Tretiaks there. We've got a couple more here on the bottom showing
Yep.
with the various authentications. Sorry, I said 8x10s, but I think these look like 16x20s. Is that right?
No, they're 8x10s.
Oh, these are the 8x10s?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
look a little larger format. All right,
I know.
8x10s.
Yeah.
All right, so pretty good. Nice crisp
Yeah.
images there.
Yeah.
And then we got some coins here as well. So tell me a little bit about this.
Yeah, so that was in a collection. We were just kind of going through some boxes and just trying to see if there was any things for the attic. And so they're all, I think we sold a couple, but they are actually all 1 troy ounce of 999 silver. So, the real silver coins. There was quite a selection. Some hockey players, there was some baseball players. I think one of the ones that sold was kind of cool. It was a tribute to one of the Blue Jays World Series championships, inscribed with that. And I think I made some cheat notes. There was one there with some Blue Jays bashers. I think we still have that one. So a couple of the big hitters from back in the day. And then there was a Dougie Gilmore and a Dominic Hasek and a Pavel Bure. And then I think there was one to a tribute for one of the Montreal All-Star games. And then I think the last one was like a Dave Winfield, which was kind of neat. So it kind of covered a broad spectrum.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
I always think the collector issues are kind of interesting when they put in the silver, because obviously you price in the premium, because the troy ounces of silver don't cost necessarily as much as a lot of those do. But a lot of people like having the keepsake anyway.
Yeah.
I remember when people were going nuts for the silver years ago, and the price of silver just kept going like this. So the price of coins like that also kept doing that. It's like, guys, it's still the same troy ounce of silver it was before. It doesn't matter what you stamp on it.
That's
It's
true.
still the same.
Yeah.
So anyway,
They're
at
great.
least the people get some enthusiasm out of it. Go ahead, Jerry. Sorry.
I just said they are great pieces.
They are. Well, if nothing else, they're very shiny, so people can
Yeah.
enjoy them for that. And then what's stamped on them, and like it just gives some people an excuse. They want it to have the silver, and if you put something interesting on it, then they get a little bit more excited.
Yeah.
So let me kind of ask this question then, and we'll start winding her down on this. So Lloyd, obviously we've been chatting previously in previous episodes, kind of getting the lay of the land. How are we feeling? How are things progressing towards the breaking side of things?
They're coming. I still don't have a definite time yet when we'll actually be starting, so I'll have more work done on cameras today to try to get those angles set up and ready to go, because I'm not starting until it's actually ready to go. So as soon as that happens,
It'll be sooner than later.
if I can get it done this week, we'll be starting this week. Next week, might wait till after the expo till we get back, because I can't see a point of breaking for a day or two and shut her down and go. So I'm hoping to get it done this week.
Saying we can't get you in a breaking van? Just have somebody drive you.
If all
the way
goes
to the
well,
expo?
it should be good this week.
I will
Sounds
be. I will be driving to Toronto, so I guess I could do the mobile breaks.
That's all I'm saying. I can envision right now, you start doing the mobile break, and then Blair's just there providing color commentary. You guys are just rolling in a van, breaking boxes down the street, down the highway. I like it. Steve, I'm liking where this is going. I'm liking the content direction. that this is taking.
Multitasking. So as long as this breaks get started before my wall gets finished, I'll be happy.
Oh my goodness. That sounds like a challenge right there. It's like the race is on. Oh my goodness. I like the possibilities that brings. Yeah, so we won't commit to a timeline, but I'll still check in just to see how progress is going, and we will see down the road. That's why at the beginning, during the housekeeping thing, I did mention the break that we did with the Series 1 box and the UD Premier box. It's something we'll try to incorporate here and there where it's appropriate, but at the same time, if people are enjoying that, that is something where if you do check it out, give it a thumbs up. Comment if you like it, because it might be something that we can incorporate here and there for some of these products when we get a chance. That way we can get on hand with it, because that allows you to see a different perspective of it, and it also it's a lot better trying to show you rather than just talk through the pieces of it, which we can. But as something like the outbursts, just looking at the flat images, we were able to extrapolate when we talked about it. I figured it would look pretty good, but then in hand you're actually able to see it, and then you really get a better sense of it, and it's a lot easier to do that than try to explain it. Sounds good.
Yeah, pretty much when a product comes out, what me and you can sit down and do that. There's no products released this week for hockey, so
I think that makes sense. Yeah, and it'll definitely be an option on the table that we can definitely touch on. Okay, so with that said, then we'll move forward. Best of luck to the team on getting through the rest of the Series 1 stuff, and then hopefully people enjoy it. Now you've got a little bit of a breath, a little calmness now that the post-release has happened, and we got a little breather here this week as far as release is concerned, so I think it'll be good going forward. All right, any last thoughts then before we send her off for this episode?
I think we covered it all.
Beautiful. All right. So we'll be back with more episodes every week. It's dropping, the episodes record and also get dropped on Tuesdays. So you can all look forward to that. Look forward to, Steve's wall slowly evolving over time. Blair bringing us randomness. That's part of the fun. So that'll be about, yeah. So the best way I can describe it, Blair, do you have another thing for it? I just call it randomness. I think it works.
Yeah, work on it. Yeah. Random.
I think that makes sense.
Random stuff.
And more other videos coming up on the channel as well. Do check out the trailer, like I said, to the trade night. It'll give you a good sense of what that looks like. Sherry's got the sign beside her, so you get a chance to see exactly.
Yeah.
It's a good. It gives you a good teaser reel. Like I said, it was very well done. So I said, if you do want to check it out.
Chipper, he did our first video that we had last year at our opening over at the other unit. So we had him in again, and he's really great at what he does, and we appreciate all of the content he creates for us.
Yeah, you can definitely see a lot of the polish in that video. Like I said, even as a teaser trailer there, it's a good indicator of some good quality, and it's a lot of it'll show off a lot of the activity happening in the store, and there's cameos from people who may be on this screen. Just bear that in mind. You can see some of the Easter eggs in there.
I didn't get one.
Maybe next time we just intersperse one, or we put your head there randomly during one of the clips. We could 100% just splice you in with some editing. We'll just put you there. I think that'll work out.
Maybe on Steve's wall.
Oh, fantastic. Hey. Steve, if you don't decorate it yourself, we might have to get real creative in the editing and find it. And all of a sudden, Blair's gigantic head is behind you on the wall with some editing.
I refuse to do it, so go for it.
Big fanimation.
I was going to say, the possibilities are both endless and disturbing. All right. On that wonderful note, let's leave you all. Thank you all for checking out the episode. If you could like the video, that is always appreciated. Subscribe to the channel. Let's get ourselves closer to 150 subscribers. We're starting to move in that direction, which is great. Everything's been received well. Also, if you got any comments or questions, feel free to put them in the comments section, because then we can always address them on future episodes. So for myself and the team, thanks very much, and we will catch you in the next episode.